All right, so for today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I've just been interested in, just like a rabbit hole that I've gone down, which is that I began to research basically ways of seeing into the astral that involve like glasses. Basically, it's almost like if you've ever seen They Live, right? And what I started doing is I started researching into basically like Vietnam War veterans seeing demonic entities through their night vision goggles, basically. And one of the things that's emphasized in a lot of the videos about that subject is basically, like the idea that the night vision goggles are red, and that they see that it's like thermal imaging, that it's infrared, and also the fact that it's a lot of these night vision goggles are like analog, right? And so I believe that that's an important component. But then you also have you also have a Dicyanin goggles that people talk about as well, where it's like a special dye that's put in between two glass plates. That basically what it does is it trains the eye to see into the astral. And the conclusion that I've come up with for how all this works and like why all this works is that basically what you're doing with any of these devices, right, is that you're increasing your eyes sensitivity to near infrared and near ultraviolet light, meaning that what you want to do with any device that you do, and this makes it so that these types of glasses are like actually incredibly easy to find. What you want to do is you want to find something that blocks off the middle part of the like the visible light spectrum as much as you possibly can, right? Because blocking off the middle part is like basically you want to only leave like ideally you want to only leave red and or purple left, right? You want to block off green, blue, yellow, orange. You want to block off that middle part as much as you possibly can, and you can actually find glasses like that very easily on Amazon that block off green and blue light. And this is also why night vision goggles were switched to green, because green is the color that the human eye is actually the most sensitive to. In order to like see, through foliage and stuff like that, right? So like, that's something that the human eye has adapted to. So, and this is interesting because it makes me think of like optical illusions that use this thing where basically like people say like, oh, okay, like stare at this dot, and it's like a dot in the middle of a picture that has weird colors on it, and what that does is it basically whenever those colors enter your eyes, enter your retina, or like go onto your retina, what happens is that the optic nerve endings actually get tired of seeing that one color, and then what happens is like after you stare at the dot for a certain amount of time, it switches to another color. Or no, it doesn't switch to another color. It switches to a black and white image, and the whole optical illusion is that basically what you're doing is you're seeing like a black and white image, but your brain is filling in the gaps with the opposite color of what you saw before, because you tired out some of the optic nerves, right? And so I do believe that there is a similar principle of basically increasing some of like the receptors in your eyes that deal with near infrared and near ultraviolet, right at the edges. If you want to look at the electromagnetic spectrum as dang, I don't know why my throat's like all clogged today, but basically you want to look at it god damn, sorry about that. But basically you want to increase your eyes sensitivity to stuff that's right beyond, like just beyond visible light. Basically, you want to increase your eye, and I do believe also that there might be an astral body component to this as well. Basically, where basically what's happening is that you might, because of the fact that you're blocking off that middle portion of visible light, like not only are you increasing your sensitivity to like ultraviolet and infrared, like the stuff just beyond visible light, where you might be able to pick up a signature of like entities and like the aura and some of the non-physical stuff, right? But also you might like the astral body, because obviously you have a physical body with physical senses, and then you have the astral body with astral senses to see on the astral, to see on the spiritual realms, right? And so one of the things that might happen is that you might, because of the fact that your physical eyes have such little information to go off of, your astral body might actually kick in and Oh my god, like it might kick in and to like fill in the gaps, basically, right? And this is just like an interesting rabbit hole that I've gone down, and I think that there is a lot of confusion as to like, okay, what is it that makes this stuff work? And yet again, my theory is that basically you're blocking off as much of like the middle portion of visible light as possible. And obviously you can increase your sensitivity to like infrared only. Like you can block every color except red if you want to get like special glasses that do that. But ideally, what you want to do is you want to block everything except super red and super violet purple light, so that you get some of those near infrared photons entering your eyes, and so that you only see, not that you only see that, but that you see basically uh, more of like the astral stuff, more of like the signatures that are sort of leaking from the astral, because of the fact that you're training your eyes to become more sensitive to the frequencies of light that are just right there, just on the boundary layer of just going beyond visible light. Right, but yeah, I just really wanted to make a video about that and sort of info dump about that, because I think that that might be a really cool thing that people might be able to train, is being able to see into the astral using these types of glasses, using this type of hardware, where and yet again you could find this stuff easily on Amazon, where you can find glasses that basically block green blue light, basically, and that makes up the majority of like what the human eye is sensitive to, is like the green and the blue light. That makes up like the majority of human eyesight, right? Being able to see in water, being able to see the sky, being able to see like nature, right? Like what is nature made of? It's made of like greens and blues primarily, but then there's also like but then there's also like orange and yellow, right? But like the human eye tends to be like more, like it tends to be sort of most receptive to like the green blue part of the visible light spectrum. So if you can block that off, then some of your like the optic nerve endings that deal with the other all the other frequencies of visible light, and even beyond that, are going to become more sensitive. Just like in the movie They Live, right? Like you put on the glasses. Like I don't think it immediately happens, but I think what happens is that you're training your optic nerve, like your optic nerves, to become more and more sensitive to to stuff that's like right beyond visible light, or even beyond visible light. Like the human eye might be able to see infrared and ultraviolet stuff, and this is why I say like near infrared and near ultraviolet, right? It's stuff that's like it's so close to infrared, but it's still in visible light, and so that might be one way of doing it. And then obviously there's like the astral body, astral eyes theory that I promoted earlier. But yeah, I just really wanted to talk about that, and that might be something that that people could do. It's like a meaningful action that people can do to sort of pierce the veil and see into the matrix, so that they can get sort of more agency, more power to see if there's entities near them, and how do we defeat these entities? And I think like that would be a cool thing, is that if you see any entities, that you might be able to just use like the powers of your imagination or your divine spark, your energy, to just like stab them with something. I mean, in exactly the same way that you can control your dreams, or in that in the astral plane you can create things with your imagination. That might be just the key to defeating demons, just using the power of the human imagination, which they don't have, right? So I talked about that before in other videos, but yeah, I just wanted to make a video about that. I think that's the video.